Welcome back to another Tech Tips Live. That's what we're calling our show now. And today is all about Wind River Internet. So you can send us your questions, comments, addresses. Pat's going to let us know how things are going this summer and where service is, and any questions anybody might have.
Yeah, so I thought it would be a good idea just to kind of do an overall show on just Wind River Internet and the fact that we need some help in terms of jobs we're hiring. So I thought I'd give an update on the area that we cover and some of the positions that we have open. So first off, people keep asking if they can get service and where it's at, and basically we cover the majority of Fremont County except for like Crowheart and DuBois and Shoshone. So Riverton, Arapahoe, Fort Washakie, Ethatee, Lander, the Boulder Flats area, some of Kinnear and Pavilion. We're putting up some new service to get better or more connectivity over in Pavilion and Kinnear, and some of the gaps in between like Hudson and Lander too. But that's
a pretty good map there.
Yeah, it's we have 40 towers or repeater sites right now. So it does the way our service works is it is beamed from fiber optic to a tower, either through fiber optic directly, which a lot of our sites are, or a special wireless backhaul, and then to another tower or the side of somebody's house to kind of get it around mountains and things like that. But it allows us to do like a dedicated internet bandwidth to those areas. So it's not like cell phone service where it's kind of hit or miss depending on how many people are surrounding the area. And that's why they do, like, even though they say unlimited, they only give you like 20 gigabytes if you use the hotspot, and then after that they slow it down a bunch. We don't have to do that because we can keep track of, the houses are not moving, and we can allocate X amount of bandwidth to everybody. So we're constantly doing that. We're always adding new connectivity and more bandwidth to different areas as we grow and add more towers and more people.
Where are some new towers going up right now?
So right now we just got 2 of them in Fort Washakie. So if you're in the Fort Washakie area and you couldn't get service before, give us a call again, because we probably can get you service now. We're up by the Fort Washakie sign, so if you can see the big Fort Washakie on the mountain, you can get our internet service now. So that opens up a lot of areas that we couldn't get to because of trees and stuff before. And then Crooked Creek Road, we're up by that water tank over there. So there's a whole valley in there that people have been asking for years that we can get now. So that's kind of the 2 newest sites right now. They're over in Fort Washakie, as well as some sites over in Lander, Baldwin Creek Road. We're on both sides of that, almost all the way around. The east side of it, we still need a repeater, so if anybody lives up there and I'll let you know, let us know. We'd love to finish that little loop around the corner. It's not quite showing on this map, but those 2 new sites are in there, and we can go almost all the way around.
Now what about the fiber optics?
We're about right here. Fiber optics, we actually just got a bunch of our own equipment in, as opposed to contracting a lot of it out. So now we're really going to hit the road running and go a lot faster than we had been over the past couple of years. So they're doing Mill Creek next week. I think we've been saying that for a couple weeks now. They're really going to do Mill Creek next week. We decided to go ahead and finish up a few people in Arapahoe that didn't get set up last summer. So we got them. I think they're doing the last one today and tomorrow, and then next week they'll start doing Mill Creek and some parts of Ethatee. So that'll be really quick, and it'll start moving even quicker, and we'll start doing parts of Fort Washakie, and we're probably going to do more of Riverton probably in the winter, because we can do that when the ground's frozen.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. So we'll concentrate on the areas that we have to do groundwork during the summer here, and then since we're using poles, aerial for for Riverton. We'll go more Riverton kind of in the winter.
That'll be nice. So yeah, service is really expanding. If anyone has any questions about service, call Wind River Internet and ask about it, because it sounds like pretty soon, shall I say, most of Fremont County will be able to have your service?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
is that a broad statement?
That's like I said, the Wind River area.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we've already gotten our first question,
Okay.
and they're asking about when will fiber be at the airport?
You know what? That sooner than later.
Sooner than later.
That's our next goal for the Riverton area, is to keep building out towards the airport and get the housing project underneath the airport and up on top around by the airport. So I wish I could say this summer, but it will most likely be next spring.
Cool.
Anybody else?
That's the only one right now.
So I guess I could talk about the jobs that we're hiring for.
Yeah, definitely.
If we get more people working here, we might be able to get out there sooner. We're looking for a IT help desk position, so people that can help with like the incoming calls and questions and troubleshooting for the internet services and some basic IT services. So if you like computers and especially if you've got any certifications like Network Plus or A Plus from CompTIA, any of the courses that the CWC offers,
Mm-hmm.
I think even at high school you're able to do some of that now. We're looking to hire probably two people.
And that's, you said IT help desk?
Yeah, and the job would pay depending on experience. So I mean, if you worked in the field previously, we're pay competitive wages. And if you're starting new, especially if like you're a tribal member, we do give preference, and we'll do training for people if they have the right attitude.
Let's bring the right attitude.
Yeah, I think the most important for us here at Wind River Internet are people that are excited by technology, and they want to play with the latest and greatest technologies and equipment and really strive to do the best job they can. And when we get that really good internet link, we're real excited about it and be a little bit competitive, like, oh, I got the best signal today, it's better than I've ever done before, and that sort of thing. So it's really, I don't know, it's really satisfying when like you can get it to work and work really good. So that's kind of what we look for.
Yeah, I think everyone's excited
It's
when
not-
their technology works, right?
It's not just a job. It's like, I don't know, when you do something you love, it's not really work. So it's like, it can be pretty fun, making people happy, seeing that they finally get fast internet when they've been waiting for a long time.
And it looks like we've got another question. Again, this one's sent in from Wayne Hatch. And it's asking, when will you be migrating to IPv6? Mind explaining that too for people who don't know what that is?
So that's a fairly technical question. As soon as we can, we actually have, so the way the internet, wow, that's a loaded question. Okay, so the way the internet works is every device on the internet is supposed to have a unique address, like a mailing address. So when you want to pull up a website, that's actually just another computer. And so it has like a number of, 72.46. something. But people don't understand that, so it gets reassigned a name like county10.com. And basically there's IPv4, which is what almost everything uses right now, and they're out. They've been out for a while. So you have to do a bunch of tricks to make that work. So basically you only get one IP address to the router in your house, and then all the devices in that share that one IP, and they take turns. So they get a private IP address, and they share one public IP address, and it causes problems with online gaming. We had some questions about that through emails last week, is like, how come I'm not getting an open NAT or a strict NAT? These are these different terms that you get when you're trying to use Xbox Live or PlayStation. Basically, your PlayStation or your Xbox needs to have that public IP or a router that can map it to that public IP. So IPv6, they thought, you know what, we need a lot more addresses. So they made enough addresses for every grain of sand on Earth.
Wow.
And they've been mandating for the past 10 years, everybody switch to IPv6. Problem is it only works if everybody uses it. And right now we're still waiting on one of our providers to switch. We set up our whole entire network for IPv6, and we have one of our providers already, but since we use multiple providers, we can't switch until all of them switch. So the short answer to the question is, I hope next year.
Well, I'm confused now.
Yeah, so IPv6 is it's basically the IPv4 is basically the current version of the internet, and IPv6 is the new version of the internet. It's a little bit quicker in terms of how much information it has to send to get to where it needs to go. Slightly less complicated in some ways, a little bit more complicated in others, and we're going to provide it as soon as we can.
Thanks for that question, Wayne.
We're needing more internet installers for our fixed wireless product, so that's another job that we're looking for. People that don't mind working outdoors and climbing on ladders and have a little bit knowledge of like what we were just talking about. What is an IP address, IPv4? That type of terminology is something that you'll need to learn if you're not familiar with it, and we do get preference to people that are already familiar with it because it requires less training. Any kind of knowledge of RF radio frequencies, like what we were talking about last week, big help. And same thing, depending on experience, wages kind of depend on that, and then we do give like bonuses and things too to kind of help encourage people to get good work done.
Nice. Well, there's definitely a lot of fun toys in the office, so
Yeah.
Anybody that's really into technology, this would be a great company to work for, and I would think a fun place to work. I was waiting. I'm like, oh, he's not saying anything.
I don't know. We try to make it fun.
Yeah.
It does, to be perfectly honest, it's challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the type of job you just kick back and relax at. But if you like a challenge, then it's fun.
Yeah.
There's always new. Trying to be on the bleeding edge of technology requires that you're always learning, and you're always figuring out new things. We don't settle for whatever is actively working okay. We want to have the best, and we want to take advantage of whatever new systems there are, because that's how you stay ahead. But at times it can be stressful, and sometimes it does require working late nights, or we do require being on call. We rotate that out so that we can make sure the towers are up and working on nights and weekends. Times when it's snowing in the middle of winter, you might have to go out to a tower. So it is hard work, but it's fun.
Could you tell us a little more about, so for areas that don't have service, I know you talked about before how if you get enough people in your neighborhood interested, that possibly you could do another tower, or if somebody volunteers their house, or...
Exactly. So if somebody lives like on the edge of a hill, we can put up the equipment on the house directly. We don't have to build a tower, just facing in the direction where the internet's coming from and where it needs to go to. And it's pretty cool how little power these things use. They use like 5 watts of 24 volt power, which is less than a light bulb. And the equipment's pretty small too. It's less than a foot big. So it's pretty unobtrusive, and it doesn't really use any power. In exchange for hanging it on the house, we get free internet to the house.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
So you get free internet.
That's pretty sweet.
So it works out pretty good, because usually the people who put it on the house couldn't get internet before, and now they can get internet, and it's free internet, and they get internet to their neighbors. So it usually works out pretty good.
Man, they'll talk to your neighbors, especially if you live out in the country, and you got a lot of hills, a lot of trees.
I mean, obviously we can't do it if there's only like 1 or 2 people there. It doesn't make sense.
How many people?
But it also depends on the plan that they want to get. Like if we had like 5 people that wanted the gold internet plan, then we'd do it.
Oh, okay.
But if they just want to get like the lower end package, we might need like 12 people.
Okay.
So it just kind of depends on how much it's going to cost us to put up that site too. Like if we need to build a really big tower, it's going to cost us more, so we're going to have to make sure we can recover our costs.
It's very cool though that like you have that option. So if people are in a small community somewhere, they can kind of get together and be like, we can figure this out.
Yeah, like we're trying to get Lions Valley area now, so that's one of them we're trying to figure out how to do. And that back there, Alaska Road, kind of behind Burma and stuff, that area there. So those are a couple little holes that we got to fill in.
I know quite a few people out Alaska Roadway, so I'll put the word out.
Good deal.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Not at the moment. Still pretty quiet.
Jeez, where's all the addresses?
I guess I'd like to know, if people like watching these on the weekly basis, or should we do like every other week or once a month, or?
I've gotten a lot of comments on it. So I know people are watching, but a lot of the comments have come from other clients we have.
Oh.
Just they think that these are so cool that they want to, do something similar. So that's a good thing.
Cool.
So yeah, I mean, if people, like we said before, if you have a topic you want us to talk about, send us a topic. You can send it to tips@county10.com or hello@county10.com. And if we're wondering, like, what do people, throw something in the comments. What do you like? Once a week, once every other week, once a month. Let us know. We want to do what the audience wants. Any other updates?
I think we got it covered. Our office is open now, so you're welcome to come in. We have masks provided, so we do ask people to wear masks if they come into the building. Otherwise, we can come out. You can knock on the door and we can come out to you.
Can you give the phone number where people can reach you?
307-857-2004. So 857-2004 for Wind River Internet.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and we'll be back next week.